You know, we're not going to be doing more than 90 on most of these roads. So, is that just fine? I think that might just be fine. Fine. It's fine, chap. It's fine. Like, we got to speed at a few places. But then I feel a lot of the time the speeding was just going faster than the speed limit, being like 70 or something, but there was only a very few areas that I could go like 120 or something.
Turn left.
And we're not just here to speed either, let's be fair. We're here to enjoy the scenery. Doesn't mean that we're speeding everywhere. It is just more fun that way, but... Into Bergen. I mean, in some ways it's nice that I got to go into the town as well. It's been a while since I've been here. What do you reckon? Bergen to Balkan speedrun?
Go straight. Turn left and then turn right. Turn right.
Now, which one's my trailer here? There we go, the compactor. Which I've always thought of as a roller, but it does the same thing. Whichever works. It compacts things by rolling them. Hey! A wild altar count appears. Brilliant. Thank you, Mr. Smarty Alt. Mysterious benefactor.
Turn left.
Be Mr. Eminem instead. Why did I do this? I've got to go through a tunnel. Oh well, we get to see a bit more of the city while we're outside. It's all perched up on the hill. And this tunnel's not too bad. It's not quite as claustrophobic as some of them. So we can do scenic mode for a little bit longer until we get to the next tunnel. Once we get into the twisty-turny one where we have the roundabout and everything, then I think that's time to get inside. I'm going to have to stop for a rest at some point along the way to Oslo as well. That's alright. $1,330 kilometers. These are not short deliveries. So this would be one of the few stretches that I could actually speed, probably, but only if I don't have traffic. I didn't even think I was going to get to do today, but I've just squeezed it in just by getting in early, essentially. Just had to start much earlier than I normally would, because I'm going to have to finish earlier than I normally would. And I'll still have to take breaks every now and then. Be a case of forced break at 10, which is in about 40 minutes. Oh, time to go in. And then likely forced stop around 11:30. But we'll see. Additional counts can be created anytime, granted you adhere to the terms of service and community guidelines. Yeah, so it's what those say about how they interact. Yeah, I imagine they look fairly closely at how they may be used, but generally, a lot's going to fly under the radar, let's be honest. I can't see where the lanes are. Well, actually I can, because I've got my rear view mirror up. That's the saving grace in that sort of driving angle. There's a walkway off to the side there. It's crazy. Maybe it's a cycleway. Gotta imagine cycling through these roads. Screw that. Oh, as long as you're not using it to ban evade. Yeah, that's fair.
Take the first exit.
Oh yeah, that would make sense as to why people might want to have an alt account. That's true. Not having ever been banned, not something I've ever considered, but yes, I suppose if you're banned on a stream and you still want to watch them or something. But if they noticed you following and it was clear that it was an alt account, then you'd be, yeah, in the pew. So that makes sense. And I have a message to reply to, so... Oh yeah, along here would be where you get a better view of the bridge, eh? Is there actually like a viewpoint? No, you've just got to kind of bump out. Well, let's do that. Yes, there we go. Get a different view of the bridge. Bit of reflection. Well, it lets you take the drone quite a way away. That's good. That's yeah, much further than they often let you take it. Yeah, I don't want a foreground. Let's have that peeking up through the trees instead. There we go. Something like that. Nice. Alright, so let's get rid of this blur. Strength, that's the one. Shwink. Bring up the saturation. It always seems to be so undersaturated. It's weird. You'd think the middle here should be default, but that's undersaturated. Then you can go full black and white, which is cool. I do like the artsy sort of shots, but the bridge just kind of disappears. And you don't appreciate then the orange and blue on it. And then you can go full iPhone. You want to go some in between, but it always seems to reset to where it feels just a little undersaturated. Anyway, got another photo of that bridge. There we go. Section of the world's different from every other world section. The longer render distance, yeah. I mean, you've got to be able to appreciate the sights from further away. Like, as it is, you do still get a bit of fade in. But I imagine that they would have determined, okay, what's the lines of sight that this bridge is visible? Let's just make sure that it's always going to be visible. Another set of roadworks. Well, at least they're busy. 23 hours of driving time. So this is going to be a long delivery. We're actually going to have to, like, break this up. So we'll take our break on this delivery, I suspect. We probably won't get across to Stockholm this session. We'll see. I certainly wouldn't count on it. I mean, even 90 is speeding, so we're eating into the estimate there. Any time that we go around corners faster than we're supposed to, that all helps. I'm surprised there's not a lower speed limit along here, actually, with all of these corners coming up. Oh, we're already yawning, okay. Interesting. The rest stop at the top of the hill with the viewpoint has a place to sleep, so that's good. So that works out so conveniently, because we just do that. Do the viewpoint, sleep, and then be on our way. What's also interesting is that what showed up as not discovered, even though I'm fairly sure it still gives me 100% for Norway. Well, we'll be making sure we're actually at 100%. This is the tunnel that never ends. There we go. Ta-da! Back in the open air, briefly. Then probably through another tunnel again up here. Yep. I mean, I can understand why they'd have, like, yeah, they've added this in, but they didn't want it considered Norway, or considered to be undiscovered for the sake of regression. That's it, they've done that everywhere else, so I doubt it really comes into their thinking. Oop. I'll wait for the traffic. I'm probably meant to go along and then come back, but... Okay, yeah, I should have done that, because then I could have... I'm going to have to back up to sleep now, but that's alright. Alright, let's check out the viewpoint. Mibodalen Valley. No idea how to say that. I can't even remember if there was any sort of rest stop there at all previously. At the very least, it's been redesigned. Okay, so you can like stop and camp and everything there too. That's cool. That would be a very scenic place to spend the night, that's for sure. Oh, and a lovely waterfall. There's a cave behind that with a treasure chest in it, I can just tell. There we are. Lovely. Oh, and we definitely need to sleep now. Oh yeah, I put the parking brake on. So now we just need to... Oh, here it comes.
Oh, you know what time it is. Aki 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 aki.
Ah, cut out. I'm not surprised. I need to stop the engine. There we go. Now I can sleep. That was almost perfectly timed to be like an alarm clock instead. We might just drive through the night because it doesn't really get dark So that's kind of fine. Thank you for the resub, Razor One. Welcome to the stream, and I hope you're doing well. We are driving through Norway because we can't get enough. Fun fact, all the speed records in this game are people hacking to place their truck on perfectly flat water that in some places go on for miles. I wasn't aware there were speed records for this game. I mean, there's the speed runs, and I know that no one there does anything like that, because that would not be allowed. So...
Turn right.
The speedruns for this game are pretty much glitchless. I know there's like a fairy warp thing that some of the guys have been experimenting with, which might be something that gets added as like a separate category. You manage to like launch yourself a certain way or something like that by some sort of collision bugness, but apparently it's consistent. And I basically said to them, well, if you can think of some good routes, like I don't want to just allow it for the main leaderboards for everything, because that defeats the purpose of those runs. It's a case of if you can find something that is kind of more spectacular, basically the more distance that you can do it, the better, really, then go for it, and we can add it as a separate flight path category. Truck flight simulator. Doing alright? Alright is better than bad. So that's something. Yep, that's a mood. Surviving is the key point. Kerbal space trucking, yeah, that could be a good one. Like, if there was one of the existing ones, like, I don't know, Tampere, Catania, or something like that, that you could just break by virtue of some sort of collision shenanigans, then that would also be cool to see. That could be, like, the first thing that gets added on, to kind of showcase the differences. But some different routes would be more ideal, just for a bit of variety, if nothing else. We do lack variety, unfortunately. Now that you've had your fun, go back to lurking? Fair enough. Enjoy the music. Enjoy the scenery. I actually stopped for gas up here, simply because I can see that I'm getting low, and I have no idea when the next one will be, and I don't want to have to go out of my way. And there's one right here, so... Casual game low, do what you like. No, I can't do it if you say no. Good. And don't. Simple. Been told. No, my power only extends to the leaderboards, and even then, questionable at best. Yeah, if you're maxing at 160, then you just don't have a good enough engine, or have the wrong gearbox. You gotta have the right ratios to be able to go faster. And it turns out the Michelin tires. I was a bit disappointed when they added new tires into American Truck Simulator, but it doesn't actually change the model. Like, they're not actually bigger or anything, so we don't get an additional speed boost or anything. I was kind of hoping that they would, because then if anything gets added to the game that makes all of the old runs no longer as good somehow, such as something that makes a higher effective top speed, then we don't need to worry about all the down patching shenanigans again. It's not difficult, but it is a pain juggling different game versions. And yeah, it would just be kind of nice if they added something, a new truck with a more powerful engine perhaps would be really nice. Then we don't have to use the old piece of junk Kenworths and stuff. the old Kenworth and Peterbilt with the longest wheelbase in the game, pretty much. So annoying.
Go straight.
No rules in a single player game, exactly. Yeah, apart from speedruns. Well, if you're doing speedrunning, well, I mean, there's still no specific rules. If you are just speedrunning the game as an individual pursuit, you can set whatever challenges you like, you can do whatever you like, submit it to, like, YouTube and stuff, but it won't necessarily be on a leaderboard. You might be able to convince other people to do things the same as you do them. For, like, comparisons and stuff. You can do your own runs however you like. And
Turn left.
you can claim to be the fastest at doing so. And you might be. Let's be honest. I don't know, I'd like to think that I hold the world record for doing the career mode on Power Wash Simulator using only the basic equipment, which was my challenge run that I did last year. It took me, I don't know how many hours to do. I haven't actually added up the total yet. I was going to do like a comparison calculation, make like a spreadsheet or something of, okay, this is how long it took me. Well, I don't know fully for early access because I'm missing some, because I missed highlighting things. And I just did a bunch of it offline anyway. But doing it like basic washer only versus pro washer only, I don't have like a do the career properly baseline. Not for all of them at least. Yeah, I don't know how long I spent on that, but I would be surprised if other people have done it. Or if they have bothered to capture it with video evidence. So, you know, don't know if I'm the world first or only, or just one of many. Maybe there's a bunch of people who have taken it upon themselves to do that. And in which case, we'll go team. But it's more a case of as soon as you decide to do speedrunning with the idea of submitting to a collective leaderboard, you're no longer playing a single player game, technically. It's asynchronous multiplayer at that point. It's kind of how I think of it. And I think of it more as a cooperative thing anyway, in many respects. Yeah, you're competing against other people, but you're sharing strats, you're like sharing your enjoyment of the game. So yeah, someone ends up with the best time, but it's kind of everyone against the game. It's not PvP, it's shared PvE with individual performance tracking, basically. It's not like a team metric. But yeah, that's how I think of it. Games are the #1 digital entertainment in the world. I'm not sure that's true. I'd imagine just streaming is
Keep
that.
right,
I mean, other
then
than
exit right.
that which we won't mention, I would
Exit
imagine
right.
just passive entertainment of just viewing things in general, and specifically just like movies and TV shows and stuff. I imagine that is more popular still than actual gaming.
Exit
Like,
now.
gaming is much more popular than it ever used to be. It's become much more mainstream, which is great. But I think the act of just blobbing on the couch watching something is still more prevalent than doing active entertainment of playing something. Watching sports especially. That would be probably the biggest, I suspect, given how many people seem to come out for things like, you just look at the Super Bowl. And that's all digital entertainment these days, really. Half past midnight and there's still light in the sky. That'll be interesting actually, because yeah, typically they have everything at like midsummer, and if we're driving further up to like Tromsø, that's in the Arctic Circle, so it will be daylight all day and all night. There will be no nighttime. I do hope they add in some seasons though. Or at least the option to select what day you want it to be. That'd be cool. I know adding in like a full calendar system would be a bit of a pain. As usual, so long as the ability is there to turn it off. That's all I care about with games and having things added to them generally, is that, okay, so long as I can still play it how I want it to. Because I don't like driving at night, and I don't want it to be midwinter, and therefore having like 2 hours of sunlight up here. Just staying in the cab for this bit through here because there's the median and stuff. I'm just trying to make sure I don't crash into anything, and because it's so dark there's not much to see. There's more to see than normal night driving. been out and about as much as I would have liked over summer. Not really had the opportunity. And today, it's raining again, so, you know. I don't think I've done any since Canberra, to be honest. Did I do something before? Yeah, I don't think I did any over summer, actually. Which is a bit remiss of me. Yeah, not really had the opportunity. Only the places we've been to have been with other people, so... a bit awkward to just wander off on your own with your phone when there's other people that you need to be spending time with, especially if it's family. We would be fined so much, or do so much jail time if you do this in real life in Scandinavia. You are just gone.
Go straight.
Everyone's turning right there, and I don't care, so I want to keep going. A little bit oversteer there. Norway is the strictest road rules in Europe. I'd believe it. That or Switzerland. I know they're pretty strict as well. Yeah, now we're on a bit of road that we feel the 90k/h limit a bit more keenly. We must be getting close to... Wait, where are we now? I've completely missed where we are now. I completely missed going up around there. I never changed my route. So we've missed the Oslo photo op. We'll be back in Oslo, almost certainly. But yeah, I was thinking, Arebro, that's in Sweden. I didn't realize I'd come this far already. Oops. Oops, Sala. Okay, we've got a bit of a plot. But we missed the plot, or lost the plot, by skipping the Oslo one. Yeah, I thought that I wasn't even in Oslo yet, so my thought was I was going to stop there for my break. But as it is, I've got like 5 minutes, and then I'll need to take a break. And I'm not sure where I'll stop for that. Probably in the middle of nowhere, and I'll just chuck it in photo mode, and see where we are. We can get another 100k's or something, probably. After some very short research, Norway is the strictest road rules in the world. Oh, beautiful sunrise. 20 to 4 in the morning. I would hate living somewhere like this. I would get no sleep. Never mind blackout curtains. I just need to have a bedroom with no windows. It's funny because, yeah, there tends to be rules around requiring a certain window size to consider something designated a bedroom, I believe. And it's like, it seems like the opposite. If I'm in my bedroom, I don't care about having a window. Genuinely, I don't care. The times I'm in my bedroom, I'm never looking outside. Yeah, natural light's all well and good, but ceiling light, bedside light. Yeah, I am in my bedroom for one reason, well, maybe two reasons, but I'm not there to enjoy the view outside. More than happy for a bedroom to be just in the middle of a house with no windows whatsoever. So long as the living room has a really nice set of windows and a view, that's much more useful. So we could have pulled in there, I guess. I'm going to need a sleep again too, aren't I? Yeah, 3 hours and 9 minutes. Yeah. Well, that probably would have been smart. I am not a smart man. Crunch. Oh yeah, then this is the zoom level that, yeah, we can see what's coming up, but we no longer get icons. So that's fun. Just mildly bitter. I guess we can drive into Uppsala. Which means we might be slightly late after our alarm goes off. Just push it out by a few minutes. Oh no, Uppsala is ages away. I'm completely misreading where I was up to. Remember, I did set cruise control, so I don't need to keep squeezing the trigger. Speeding fine in Norway could be 10% of your annual income. Yep. Yeah, I kind of like that idea, to be honest. The idea that it's a dynamic amount rather than a set fine. It's a case of, if you can afford to pay a big fine, then you should. Just tough. You should know better at that point. Not that there's any particular correlation to common sense and income, but quite the opposite sometimes. But the point stands that you should definitely know better. We could just pull into our garage, actually, couldn't we? Because there was no photo opportunities around here that I can recall. Oh, we just drive past. Do a drive-by and
Go
just
straight.
pull out our camera. That's our form of drive-by. Vasteras? Or Vasteras. Can't remember whether the two dots is a long or a short sound. Too many trees in the west, Sweden. Yeah. That's just Scandinavia in general, I think, but certainly Sweden. Let's see if we can at least finish this delivery. I hate, like, breaking a delivery over sessions, especially since being an external contract, we do have a real time limit for this. Not normally something I ever have to consider, but I've only got 17 hours to finish the delivery. But that means that if I don't finish it now, or this session, I'll have to finish it tonight, I guess. Which is fine. Probably won't stream it in that case if I have to do part of it off. That said, that 12 hours and stuff is including the ferry, I think, isn't it? So, I mean, that's a big section. A big amount of time that we're not actually going to be driving. $44 to Uppsala. Then it's a case of, is the photo op visible from the road? Also, is the icon going to show up on my map at the zoom level? That's the next question. Right, it's there. Can we just go zooming past, or do we have to go into the city? Well, there's something over there. I'm sure it looks better from the city, so we should probably make the effort, eh? There's some sort of building there. It would be funny if you just don't really get a view of it at all. Right, we'll go into the city. So yeah, it is only 400 k's like driving, which is not 12
Go
hours.
straight. Breathe in.
Oh, I'm gonna guess that that's the thing that I meant to take a picture of. Am I right? No, I'm not. That's because surely that's not the cathedral, that's the cathedral. But that was the thing that caught my eye. So I'm going to completely ignore the cathedral and just take a picture of what I presume is a water tower. Is that a bloody satellite dish? Like, I can see the cathedral. I know it's there. But this is more interesting. It's certainly a lot more striking. Yeah, cathedral, great, cool,
Take
lovely
the
old
second
building.
exit.
Massive concrete water tower.
Exit now. Go straight.
There is actually a small piece of road up here that is grey on my map. But it must have rounded up.
At the roundabout, take the second exit. Exit now.
Well, it's gold now. We're just tying up some loose ends that we didn't even know we had. So there we go. 0 out of 10, not enough IKEAs. There's IKEAs. They don't have IKEA for branding purposes, but there is IKA. It's one of the delivery places. There's a bunch of those. I've heard about IKEA. I have no desire to ever go to one. Sounds like a much more complicated form of shopping. When my wife was over in the UK a couple of years ago, got dragged along to one by friends. It's like, oh, you've got to have the experience of going to an IKEA. It's like, okay, it's just a rabbit warren with furniture. It forces you to go around certain ways, basically. Okay, yeah, that is the building that I thought it was. This photo opportunity is much clearer. Stockholm Tower, apparently. Not to be confused with the Syndrome. That just... like, I'm sure there's a different viewpoint of it, but this is honestly a more striking view of it. The fact that it's just rising up out of farmland, essentially. See if we can get a better... Ooh, and it lights up. Okay. Sold. That looks like something out of Deus Ex. Or Half-Life. We also need to sleep, but we're also looking to catch a boat soon, and that should give us some amount of rest. IKEA is just okay, but the meatballs are great. That's an odd thing to go to a furniture store for. If I want meatballs, and I generally don't, then I'll go to a butcher or an Italian place. I'll preferably get like venison meatballs or something. And probably do them in the air fryer. Eesh. Okay, it didn't damage me at least. Boom, 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 boom. And it just bounced back up again. Like a punching bag. Doing, doing. What a civil engineer woke up in Stockholm one day, said massive rectangle and actually built it. I mean, that's what most skyscrapers are, isn't it? All of these are massive rectangles too, just to slightly different form factors. At least they made the outside of that one interesting. It just looks so weird because it's off by itself, instead of being in amongst others, which you normally expect skyscrapers to be. I'm much more of a fan, though, of distributed cities rather than there being like just a singular central business district. That's a very old way of thinking, I feel. And we need to break away from that. A city can be a collection of other cities. Just have more distributed areas. Don't try and get everyone going to the same place all at once. It's stupid. So you need more places like that where you've just got a big building just arising out of nowhere and have a collection of a few of those. And it's a place where people in the local area can go to work with like good infrastructure and stuff. I feel like remote hot desking, if people don't want to work from home, because, you know, the living areas around here, it's like largely apartments and stuff, maybe you don't have the ability to have a dedicated home office space, fair enough. I do, I'm lucky. If you don't, then have a remote office environment where people who work for different companies can kind of come together. Because that's the thing, is that companies are really hard pushing the idea of, oh, but it's the social aspect of coming into an office and meeting with your workmates. It's like, yeah, but the main thing you have there in common is just that particular work, and it honestly becomes entrapment in some ways, like, because you only know those people from that workplace, it becomes harder to leave that workplace. That was a big thing with my last one. It's like, okay, all of your friends in your adult life tend to be from work, so if you then leave that workplace, you lose your social circle. Whereas if you have a remote office environment where you're interacting with people from other companies,
At the roundabout,
then it doesn't matter if you start working for a different company, but still go to the same remote location to do your work, then you can still see the same people day in, day out. It would only be if you actually moved locations, like physically moved house, that you'd face that sort of thing. A much better idea. Scandinavian Victoria Tower. Oh yeah. It's more like a hammer in real life. It's probably just depends on which way you're looking at it from. Like, I only looked at it from one perspective, so...
get ready to turn left.
Alright, and here's the ferry. And then it's not too far
Straight.
driving in Finland once we get there. We've got no other reason to go back to Finland, I don't think. We've been to the couple of viewpoints or photo ops that they have. Unfortunately, being an external contract, I can't then just service warp from the ferry terminal at the other end to kind of cut down a little bit of time. Oh yeah, that one. What's the other one? Ah, Estonia. Yeah, we want to go there. 9 hours travel time, Jesus. Okay, that's... It doesn't even look like it's that far, but I guess it takes a while to get across. Yeah, and this one you actually have to drive off, but sometimes the ferries will just... You'll come off and you'll just be on the dock already. Those are the ones that you have to be careful whether or not you then have to go back and discover the ferry specifically. There's the Victoria Tower. Funny that. Tourists were confusing it with a tower of the same name attached to Westminster in the UK. I didn't even know there was a Victoria Tower attached to Westminster in the UK, so I find that a stretch, to say the least. Like, you can have lots of different Victoria Towers. I'm sure there are lots of different Victoria Towers. Lots of people love to name things after Queen Victoria, or the concept of victory being, I think, Latin Victoria.
Turn right.
See, I find that very hard to believe. I mean, if you're a tourist in Stockholm, you're not going to be getting confused with a tower that's in London. That makes no sense. So no, I think that's more a case of someone wanted to distinguish it, but not for any particular reason. But then, to be fair, you get tourists who get Austria and Australia confused, so maybe some people are as stupid as that. Should have gone right. Never mind.
Keep right, and then turn right.
Where are you going? You're also going right? Good.
Turn right.
Race you to the bottom. Oh, well, I've won.
Keep right, and then turn right.
Just enough room to sneak up on the shoulder.
Turn right.
So we want a delivery from here down to, like, Kalmar or something, wasn't it? We'll see how lucky we get. I'm not optimistic. I mean, I can now... Well, actually, I can't remember if the version of the save game editor I've got actually decodes things properly anymore.
Go
I might need to
straight.
update it.
Keep left, and then turn left.
But theoretically, I can construct deliveries that go exactly where I want now, because I'm not having to do external contracts.
Get ready to turn right.
This one we just did because there was a delivery, so, you
Turn
know.
right.
But I feel my next one,
Good driving.
there's going to be a lot more chance for speeding, so I won't want to take an external contract if I can avoid it. This music always just makes me think Star Wars. It is called Xeno Titan. It's from Beyond Earth, so it's kind of that sort of mood. And there we go. Excellent. Another perfect delivery.